the young and the restless spoilers. In the dim, tense atmosphere of Genoa City's police department, Chance Chancellor believed he had gathered enough evidence to arrest Daniel Romolotti. It was his moment of conviction, one that he felt strongly about despite lingering doubts whispered by colleagues. Holding the handcuffs, Chance approached Daniel, voice steady but stern. "Daniel, you are under arrest." But before he could even reach for Daniel's wrist, Phyllis Summers burst into the room, her fierce maternal instinct ablaze. Her voice sliced through the room like a dagger. "Are you out of your mind, Chance? That evidence is flimsy at best. My son isn't a murderer." Phyllis's anger erupted, her voice rising as she confronted Chance head-on, accusing him of recklessness and of endangering her son's future. Chance, undeterred, stood his ground, reminding her that this was a police matter and that he had the authority to act. But Phyllis wasn't one to be silenced, especially not when her son's freedom was at stake. Their voices clashed, each refusing to back down, their argument escalating with every word. The air thickened with tension, bystanders looking on in uncomfortable silence. Then, in the midst of their fierce back and forth, Daniel raised his voice, cutting through the chaos. "Mom, let him do his job. I'll be fine. My lawyer will handle it." His tone was calm, yet laced with resignation, a quiet assurance that he trusted the legal process, something Phyllis could hardly stomach, but his words managed to momentarily silence her. But just as Chance was ready to place the cuffs on Daniel, a commanding voice rang out, halting everything in its tracks. "Stop this, now." All eyes turned to see Christine Blair stepping into the room, her presence both authoritative and unwavering. She strode in with an undeniable confidence, holding a folder tightly under her arm. She was a familiar face in Genoa City, one who held a complicated but deep-rooted place in the lives of both Phyllis and Daniel. Without a moment's hesitation, Christine stepped between Chance and Daniel, her eyes cold as steel as she faced Chance. "You're jumping to conclusions, Chance. The evidence isn't nearly as strong as you think." She opened the folder, revealing a set of files that she handed over to him. "Here," she continued, voice steady, "you'll find inconsistencies and overlooked details that undermine the case against Daniel. We're not moving forward with an arrest." Chance's jaw clenched as he flipped through the documents, his confidence faltering as Christine's evidence laid bare the gaps in his own investigation. Unable to respond, he stood there, momentarily defeated, as Christine's pointed gaze reminded him that this was far from over. His reluctance to admit fault was palpable, but Christine left no room for argument. "Leave now, Chance. Daniel remains free until we've worked through this thoroughly." Relief washed over Daniel's face as he absorbed Christine's words. The sudden appearance of his lawyer, and her ability to dismantle Chance's case in mere moments, left him reassured. But Phyllis, though relieved, was simmering, her distrust of Christine always lurking just beneath the surface. As the dust settled and Chance grudgingly withdrew, it became clear that this was only the beginning of a much larger ordeal. Daniel, though momentarily spared from arrest, still stood on the precipice of a long, uncertain battle. Phyllis's relief was tinged with worry, and she knew that Christine's arrival, while well-timed, did not guarantee Daniel's safety. The tension between Phyllis and Christine remained thick, their mutual distrust ever present, but for now, they would need to put their differences aside for Daniel's sake. Yet Phyllis could already sense that the path ahead would be fraught with challenges. As the shadows of suspicion lingered over her son, Phyllis's resolve hardened. No matter what it took, she would protect Daniel, even if it meant battling Christine every step of the way. In the background, Christine quietly prepared herself for what lay ahead. The case was more complex than she initially thought, and the stakes were higher than ever. She was determined to see justice served, but with Phyllis's unpredictable involvement, she knew that the journey would not be a straightforward one. As Daniel's lawyer, she would have to balance legal prowess with patience and resilience, especially as Phyllis's emotional outbursts and protective instincts threatened to derail the case.